All right, welcome back to La Vida podcast. Today we are in Inglewood, Junior Customs shop. So, Malo, how you doing?
I'm doing good.
Thank you for letting us be here on your premises. Can you be kind to tell your name and your background to the viewers?
Um, my name is Art, but everybody knows me as Malo. And yeah, my background is I've been in this industry as far as the custom world, building bikes and cars for about 20 years now.
20 years.
Yeah.
How did that start for you?
How did it start? Oh man, I'll make it short, but basically, I had I used to be in construction,
Okay.
and I had a back injury, and a real bad back injury. So it took me like I want to say close to like 3 years to recover from
Oh,
this. So, but in the meantime, back then I used to like lift weights and stuff. But so during this back injury, I just got real fat, you know.
yeah.
So I was like, I got to do something because all the stuff that doctors wanted me to do, like therapy and stuff, it wasn't working. So I was like, you know what? I just gotta get out of this funk and start moving, right?
Hmm.
Start doing something. So what happened was my homeboy had a shop, and I used to start visiting him and started seeing what he did, and I was like, oh, this is cool. So I started helping him, and I was like, oh, this is cool. And then from there, I joined the car club,
Okay.
and then I was like, you know what, I kind of like this, and like, this is something that I could do, and I fell in love with it, So I was like, all right, from there I just
Jeez,
took
it
off,
took off
took off,
20 years ago.
So it was like,
Wow. How was that? How was the beginning for you getting into this custom made motorcycle car field?
it was hard. All right, so I decided to open my first shop. I was already, working with somebody else at a different shop, but
Okay.
I decided to open up my first shop in 2006, 2007.
Okay.
And that was during when the economy was
Yes.
down. And my crazy ass decided to open up a shop. And damn, it was hard. Not was it the economy down, but I'm in Inglewood, like there wasn't that many bikers back then, So I'm like, who opens up a custom motorcycle shop? It doesn't exist. Like,
Yeah.
so it was tough, bro. It was tough. Like, there was like now you see bikes everywhere. So those were my initial intentions was a motorcycle shop, but you got to take whatever comes in. So I work on cars, do cars, do sounds, do whatever came in, and then once in a while the motorcycles will come in, and then I do that, But it took a while to get noticed, especially in this area, because nobody did that, So most of my clients in the beginning, motorcycle clients were black,
Wow.
So when I started this, I could honestly tell you that when I started, with the motorcycles, I influenced the black culture as far as design,
That's nice.
paint jobs and stuff
Mhm.
like that, And then when I wanted to get into like the Vicla style, the Rasa style bikes, um, you know, that's a whole different story. But when I started doing that, like I didn't have Rasa to do that for, so I would do it for the black people.
Yeah.
So they were rolling around in Viclas and they didn't even know it. They were just I was just like selling it to them like, hey, let me do your lowrider style bike. They're
Yeah.
like, what? I'm like, let me do lowrider patterns on your bike. They're like, God, fucking do it. So that's how I started doing the V class, bro. Like my customers were black. So I was doing V class
For the black community.
and they didn't even know it. I didn't even know it, to be honest too, but I
Yeah.
wanted to do it, and I had this idea, the V club movement was kind of growing, and I had ideas in my head on how I wanted to do it, and I started doing it, and that's how I started.
Wow.
Yeah.
So which one was your first big that you did from the ground up that you were like, this is a game changer?
The Vikla, well, before we get into the Vikla, the motorcycle that put me on the map uh, was actually in 2009. I did a big roll bagger that didn't exist. So I had a black customer that was a music producer,
Okay.
and he came to me with an idea, and this is his idea.
Hmm.
I'm not taking credit for it, but he's like, "Hey, I want to get my road line, and I want to, mold speakers on the, do this and
Yeah.
that." And I used to be able to work with fiberglass back then, and then and I want to put a 26, and I was like, "What the fuck? Like, what are you talking about?" Like, and I wanted to stretch it out like this, and I was like, we sat down and I drew it out, and he's like, "Yeah, that's what I want." So I was like, "All right, fuck it, let's do it." So I started stretching out the regular bags. I stretched them out, stretched out the rear fender, you know, and then molded speakers on everything, bro, and then on the lids before it was popular, bro. I did all that, and then here he comes with I want to put a 26-inch wheel, right? And I'm like, "Where are you gonna get this fucking rim from?" He's like, "Don't worry about it, I got it." I was like, he showed up with a fucking 26-inch rim, bro. And I was like, she don't fit. I'm like, it doesn't fit. So then I was like, so then I started doing research, right? I'm like, man, like I gotta make this neck longer
Yeah.
for this bike to work, right?
Yeah.
And I talked to him. I'm like, "Hey, bro, like I gotta do this, and that." And he's like, "All right, do it." So fucking yeah, there I go. I fucking raked the neck, you know, and then
Damn, 26 inch.
put the 26-inch rim on it. And then after I'm done and the fucking bike, rides and stuff, he comes back to me. He's like, "Hey, I want to put airbags on it." And I was like, "What?" I'm like, "What the fuck are you talking about?" Oh, he's like, "I want to put airbags on it." And I was like, and I used to bag cars. And then I was like, "Well," he's like, "Can you do it?" I was like, "I think so."
Okay.
So then back then I was married, and the person I was married to was in love with Corvettes, right? And she had a Corvette, and I remember working on her Corvette, and I remember that it had the shocks, the air ride,
Yeah.
the Monroe shocks. I remember all that, and I remember replacing them and all that. So I was like, man, the Harley shocks look like the Corvette shocks. So I went to AutoZone, and I'm like, "Hey, let me get some Corvette shocks." So I put them on the Harley, and then I was like, "What the fuck?" But it worked. But the thing is that it lifted so high,
Yeah.
but it came back down like, bam, and you're like, "Fuck." So I had to figure out how to control it and stuff. But yeah, that was my experience. That was the big wheel bagger, bro. Look, that bike came out on a bunch of magazines. Back then, it was magazines,
Yeah.
and then it went to Arizona Bike Week because it was asked for at a competition because they saw it in the magazine.
Mhm.
And when it went to Arizona Bike Week, the Moreno showed up with this bike with the sounds, and everyone was like, "Why the fuck would you do that? Like, why do you need all the sounds? Why do you need
Yeah.
the fucking rim and all?" Like everybody was clowning it, right?
Okay.
And there was two big builders that became fairly popular that were clowning that bike.
Oh wow.
That later on in life started manufacturing those parts. And throughout the years, I started seeing the stretched out bags, this and this and that, and the molded speakers and all that. And my customer would always send me pictures like, "Hey, look, look, look."
Look, somebody's copying you.
Yeah. And, I'm not going to say their names, but those guys got really rich. But, but they were making fun of what I had created. But now it's like, you know, yeah, now it's a thing. So I really don't care what anybody says. This shit really happened, and I got pictures to prove it. So, anybody want to challenge me? I got the proof.
You got the proof.
But that was like, but it still had like the style of paint was still very lowrider style.
Okay.
So, that's where I still try to incorporate that and get into it. But like I off the top, it's just, uh, just little stuff here and there that every chance I got to incorporate a lowrider style into a bike, I would try it, But yeah, man,
So that was the first bagger that you that changed your word, your game, and everything that took you to a different level.
it was, bro, because I still stayed very low key, right? But that bike was everywhere. I had a lot of like different builders from around the area that would show up to my shop and be like, "Hey, who built this bike? Who did?" And then they would come up there like tough, and I'd be like what? Like then they'll see me and they'll be like, "Oh, never mind." Like but no, I mean that was the bike that honestly, the owner passed away, but that got me known
Got you known out there in the bike scene,
in the bikes.
and then you felt that there's something going on in this area that you get pushing
Yeah,
and moving forward
yeah, exactly. Because
to what it is today.
yeah, it was I got the inspiration from lowrider shows.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's what it was.
that's dope. That's dope. So after you were done with that bagger, where was your next role? What were you thinking after that?
Well, back then I wasn't thinking very much, but
I mean, as a business point of view, when did you say, I'm gonna keep moving out? I want to start changing the game, and maybe I could. When did you come out with the ideas of making big class the way that you are? Let me read that word properly.
all right,
Question, I was like, you know what? I want to start doing my own style, my own estilo. I want to build something that it can have my name in it.
yeah. I even though I was building bikes on and off, uh, back then, I think like I was still very much not being responsible, still being a fool, um, getting into trouble. So I wasn't really taking it too seriously as far as art.
Hmm.
Uh, I was just out there hustling, trying to make money, But I think like that was another shop. So I think when I got to this shop, is when I started taking it more seriously and incorporating a different style, which I think it's the airbrushing and the patterns and stuff. I think that's when I decided like, all right, this is my second chance, because I had gotten in trouble prior to that. And when I landed here is when I think I started taking it a little bit more seriously.
Okay.
But yeah.
I'm pretty sure it's been a long route for you. You know what I mean, to be where you are today and all of that. How did that all this hard work and all of this did that affect on a personal level? As Malo.
Uh, well, damn, man, it's just like I don't think I don't think I appreciated any of the success I was having in the beginning. Um, I wasn't appreciating a lot of stuff. All the rough times till later on in life. And honestly, I just I've been really just keeping my head down. I think like if people recognize me or appreciate my work, it's because it's out there. I don't think social media had anything to do with it. To be honest,
Yeah.
I just always worked hard and did my thing. But I wish I would have taken it a little bit more seriously in my younger days. Not till now. I appreciate everything, the experiences, but I just feel like honestly, I'm still like day one. I'm still working hard. Nothing's changed.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, at the end of the day, like earlier we were chopping it up as hint out there, the viewers, they only see what Union Costume has make out there, you know what I mean? From all the flaws and all the good stuff, but I don't think they know deeply as what Malo has been through to become who you are today as a business owner, small business, and creating all these big cluster joints that you have, and all of that stuff. Because you definitely have gone through up and downs in life. You know what I mean? And I think everyone has any business out there that is blooming currently today. has definitely been through some rough times.
Well, there's so nobody knows this, but like rough times or like that's a fucking understatement. Because, like when I first opened my shop, I also went through like a divorce, so I literally lived in my shop for 4 years. You know, slept in the couch, the heater. I went through that, because like I said, the economy was down, but I bet on myself. Um, trying to pay rent was hard. I used to throw stripper parties to pay the rent. Like, that's the honest truth.
Oh, it's great.
I used to throw stripper parties, and doing illegal stuff that I shouldn't be doing. Uh, but you had to do it. Out in the back, fucking chopping cars and shit. Stealing cars, stealing motorcycles. You know, and did time for it.
Yeah.
Um, but it was easy money, and that's the bad thing that I'm saying. It's like I got so focused on the hustle, on trying to make this money, that I forgot about the craft. Right? Like the craft didn't matter so much. It was just like I got to make this money to pay the bills, and then once I was making the money to pay the bills, I continued to do it still because now it's just extra money. Now you got money, right?
Yeah.
But just like anything, you're in that lifestyle, and you're gonna get caught.
Yeah. One way or another.
And you know, long story short, yeah, that's I got caught, fucked up, you know, living the fast life, and lost the shot. You know, lost the shot. And had to level out for like I think like 2 3 years, and then come back here.
And start all over
Start
again.
all over, take it seriously.
I think overall, being through the whole struggles in life makes you change. You know what I mean? Makes you appreciate things that we have currently,
Yeah.
and all the lot.
Yeah, but I still didn't learn my lesson when I got here. I was still fucking up. I was, still fucking living that life, man.
It's I feel that that's life itself at the end of the day.
Mm.
We go up and downs, but as long we learn from it and we make the best out of it, and we embrace our mistakes. What makes who we are today as a human? You know what I mean?
It does, it's I think I'm lucky, bro. Like honestly, like 100%. Like if you, I don't think about it, but like if I have to think about the shit that I did, like yeah, I'm lucky as hell. Like and even more fortunate now to be in the position that I am. But all that definitely taught me a lot,
Yeah.
and, I can honestly say I'm still working on myself. I think mental health is a serious thing,
True.
but I'm still working on myself. But I've learned a lot about myself.
That's good. That's good. So once you went through the whole struggles and stuff like that, and then you started seeing different things. What when did you start moving now to the big class? Um, Making big class and all that, all the good stuff.
Well, I wish I could tell you like I had a great story behind it, but I don't. It's just after I think what happened with me is I've always been about my culture since I was young.
Yeah.
I always studied. I mean, I could tell you the first time I heard the word Chicano.
Hmm.
Like I remember that. And I was in elementary school,
Okay.
and I remember going to the library trying to find out what Chicano meant. At a young age. So I've continuously read about my culture, and even back then there wasn't that many books like all my life. I was an activist. I did a lot of different things. But I think that all those from all those experiences from my past, uh, you know, to the moment that I started taking it a little bit more seriously when I started incorporating the culture, you know, into these bikes is what made the whole different change and people noticed it. I think it was like that when people saw it. It's like, oh damn, it changed dramatically. And then trying to focus. and and on the craft,
Hmm.
and and do something different and better, right? But yeah, it was just I had to stop all the bullshit, to get back to who I am, and really not give a shit about what anybody's got to say about me, you know, and just be an artist, because I hid that for a very long time, so not just don't care what anybody has to say and believe in yourself.
It's true. Believing in yourself is a must, definitely. I mean, I feel that your work speaks louder than words. At the end of the day,
Yeah,
separation from everybody else. You know
yeah,
what I mean?
yeah,
Um, I was with a mechanic a few days ago, like I told you earlier, and I saw a Vikla right there, and I was like, I've seen this one before. We had your name all over it. You know what I
yeah,
mean? We know each other for several years, so I can difference right away. You work from a lot of hate out there. You know what I mean? And it's putting you out there, then you have created a legacy.
thank you.
I think so. You know what I mean? For all, I don't think you give enough credit to yourself enough. You know what I mean? Because for the things that you have created for the community itself, for the gente,
Yeah, yeah,
it's a lot. You know, you have put uh, enough work for people to understand and see who's Malo,
yeah,
who's Junior Customs. You know what I mean?
yeah. Well, but I've also met people like you, man. Throughout this whole journey where like just like you, man. We went through a lot of stuff that uh, that's that. I don't know if it's guilt inside or I don't. There's a little bit of mixture of guilt, but still the love of the community where we want to make a change, right?
Yes, sir.
And but we still got to make a change within ourselves, right? So it's like a struggle, right? You're trying to help, but you yourself you're not there yet, you know. So I don't know if it's an excuse or a balance, but yeah, I don't know if it's we're trying to justify ourselves by helping somebody
Yeah,
else.
from our wrongs.
I
Yeah.
maybe.
I mean, probably, definitely, but I feel we need to be good within ourselves first before helping somebody else. And that's life itself, you know.
Yeah,
If we live and learn, we
yeah,
make the best out of it.
yeah,
You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, we're on a different stage. We're here, we're chopping it up,
yeah, yeah,
trying to tell a story to the viewers. And at the end of the day, bring the light to your life. And, a lot of gente, like I said from the get go, they don't know anything about human customs, how it started. And you only see them shine and all that. Like example, the work that you're doing with the kids.
yeah,
That's definitely something that we will talk about. But the kids is the future.
yeah,
I feel that we need to remember that we got the youth right now currently. They're in different path. I know I understand it's
yeah,
evolution at its best, but we need to understand where they're coming from. The roots
exactly.
and all of the above. And I feel that slowly you're putting your shop and your business into their heads.
Yeah, no, it's the kids has always been, even through the remember the Beans and Rice project, like the kids has always been my number one thing to do, right, to help out the kids. And I'm actually tell you why I do it. And nobody knows the story, but when that's another story. But basically, I wound up in art college, because I didn't want to go to art college, but I wound up in art school called Parsons,
Okay.
and it was a private school, and it was just so I happened to go. I was supposed to have done something else, but I wound up here, and that was the first time I think that in my life I was like, in a college where like all the kids were like European, Asian, like maybe four Latinos and one black person. The black kid that was there was my friend. So it was like you got all these people, right? But we all were thinking like we were all artists, and that was the first time in my life that I've been with a group of people that I'm like damn, like this is where I belong. Like you know, like they were different from me, but like I could relate to them. You
And
know,
same views.
yeah, so it was weird, right? So then my I just got into the art and I grew. Like all my peers helped me grow. Like the school, I loved it, right? And then I was there for like a year and a half, and then what happened is the following. This is why I help kids. So there was an internship with Steven Spielberg and George Lucas, right? And everybody was applying, and everybody wanted to because they were going to start a new company, which is called DreamWorks.
Okay.
And everyone was like applying, like yeah, who doesn't want to work for those people, right? So then I applied and I got it, right? Yeah. So then I'm like, all right, cool. But at the same time, I'm struggling because this I'm like first generation. We don't even know like college or any. We don't know nothing, right? And nobody's ever been to college in my family. So, and then my parents are like, why? Who's gonna pay you for art? Why the fuck are you wasting your time? Going to art school. Go work in construction.
Yeah.
Go do that. So they don't understand it. I'm struggling. I'm working two jobs. I'm fucking selling drugs at the same time. Trying to pay for my bills and everything. I'm stealing fucking, art supplies from the local art. I'm doing everything, bro, to try to stay there, right?
Yeah.
And then, uh, man, like it was, bro, like I was hustling, bro. I worked at Foot Locker and everything, like just fucking everything. And I go to the dean because I can't do it no more. Like I can't pay for this no more, right? So I go to the dean and I tell him, hey, I need help. And he's like, I'm like, these are my grades. You see my work? He goes, yeah, you're top notch. He's like, but I can't help you. And I was like, why? He's like, and this is what fucked my life up. He's like, why would I help you when I got kids paying for 4 years of college with one check like that? And being, young, 18 years old, whatever, and for someone to fucking crush your dream like that, you know, I'm like, all right, motherfucker. So that fucked me up.
I'm sure it did.
So, from there on, I just went to go be a construction worker and didn't do art for like 15 years. I swear. Like, nothing.
I'm sure the market was a long time.
I didn't do any art for 15 years, bro. Like anything. Like I was like, fuck it. So that's when, that's why I help these kids out because, uh, they got to have that kind of support where they gotta know like there's somebody there that believes in them, you know. And maybe things are not as hard as they used to be, but emotionally, our rasa's still the same. We're disconnected. We're not there for our kids like we should be. Uh, and I don't want them to go through that. So that's why I help kids.
So, so the majority of them are they like to do the art craft or they want to learn about motorcycles.
Believe it or not, it's I think most of them are artists. Most of these kids that are artists. Whether and the thing about the motorcycle aspect of it is that uh, it teach it teaches them how to work with their hands, how to be pay attention to detail, how to be careful, how to be responsible, right? And I've seen the change in these kids, little by little, and and now they're man, they're amazing, bro. Like that bike right there. Like, I'm like, all right, you guys, put this bike here. They did it by themselves. I didn't have to
Do anything.
I didn't have to do anything either. These are 13, 14, 15-year-old kids. At this point, I don't have to tell them anything. I don't have to say anything. They got it. And I'm like, all right, cool.
It's for the kids.
But I yell at them too, I yell at them, but yeah, no, they're amazing.
That's dope. That's dope. How tell us a little bit more about the Rising Beats project. How did that start? And what is it?
The Beads of Rice project.
Yeah.
What? Well, I haven't. I started what I originally wanted to do with that was a community page where I could inform people about the culture, right? Because I had all this information in my head,
Yeah.
and I just wanted to put it out there, even now, like I don't even get on it, I walked away from it for a couple of years now, but now, if you guys go look at the Beans and Rice project, there's a lot of history in there, that a lot of you might not know. But the Beans and Rice Project was the same thing, right? It's just um, there was a poem, uh, an artist was trying to sell art, and Rasa comes up to him, he's like, "Hey, how much for this?" He's trying to get a discount, trying to bargain him, trying to break down your own people. He's like, "Oh, okay, well, what foundation is this gonna go to?"
Mhm.
And then the guy replies back, "Well, it's going to the Beans and Rice Project," and then, you know, so that's where I got it from. I never, I read that poem when I was like in junior high. I could never find it again, but that's where that developed from. Like Rasa not helping Rasa,
Yeah.
not supporting, them. So that's where that came from, the name.
I think we have that a lot at one point. Instead of helping the raza or your neighbor or somebody, even your own family, it's difficult for us to do that. You know what I mean?
It's kind of worse right now.
Yeah,
You know.
it's bad, but it's true. You know what I mean? And sometimes we just gotta do it ourselves and try to make the best of it. You know?
Yeah, yeah.
That's good. That's good. So after working with the kids and making the Vincent Rice project, which other project do you work on?
Other projects that I've worked on, I mean, I try to get involved as much as I can within the community, right? So throughout the years, I do the, through my motorcycle show with Glassos, the funds, I do the toy drives, I do the back to school drives, what else I help out, well, anybody in the community that reaches out, I try to help out as much, we did something called, we helped out, people within our community that have cancer, you know, we did that, and unfortunately, one of the people that was in that group, in the motorcycle community, passed away, Big Mike.
Hmm.
You know, but it was a beautiful thing to acknowledge people within our community that all had cancer and try to help them as much as we can.
Yeah, no, definitely. So you be part of a lot of what would be the word? A lot of charities,
Yeah.
a lot of stuff out there that you have created yourself. You know what I mean? Like you said, giving back to the community, to the kids, to the family, the ones that need it, and with the community. So we know who's struggling and who's not struggling. You know what I mean? And I feel that a lot of gente out there, they don't know your history. Like I said, they don't know what time it is. It has taken you several years to become who you are today. Even though there's some hiccups and you fall and get up, but at the end of the day, I feel that Union Custom has created enough reputation uh, to be out there and be recognized.
Thanks.
And overall, you were recognized from a big corporation.
Yeah.
Big corporation that is called Harley Davidson. You know what I mean? How guide us a little bit more regarding that part. How did that work for you? How did that start?
Uh, I mean, it's just like everything, right? If everybody thinks that it's nice and smooth, it's not. Uh, so I was approached by Harley. Uh, and they were like, "Hey, we want to work with you, this and that." I was like, "Cool, whatever." You know, like, get back to me when you're ready. Yeah. A couple months passed by. Hey, we want to have a meeting with you. I was like, "All right, cool." And then at that meeting, and and I'm like, "Okay, I guess it's serious, right?" So it turns out, they've been watching what I do within the community for 3 years. They've been playing my videos at their meetings and stuff like that. Like, this is Malo, this is what he does. Like, it also shows that they were playing all this stuff. And it took them 3 years to be like, all right, let's work with him. But I get it. It's Harley Davis.
Yeah.
They got to be careful about what they do because they obviously get in trouble all the time, right? And they get attacked and stuff like that, right? So, you know, you guys got to imagine, like, it's baby steps, right?
Hmm.
To have a Mexicano represent Harley, it's a big deal,
It is a big deal.
right? So they got to be careful with who they choose or who they start with. I want to say, right? Because I'm pretty sure I'm not gonna be the only one, right? I hope I'm not. In other words, I hope I'm not. So, it's baby steps, and and the meeting was, um, I was still Malo, I never changed, I'm still the same guy, uh, but it's basically, trying to make them understand that someone like me that lives in this environment, you can't make false promises, right? Because it means a little bit more to us. If you're gonna say you're gonna do it, do it.
Yeah.
Don't make false promises, right? And it's been back and forth, and I'm thankful for everything they've done. They help the kids out, which is the most important thing to me. Because at this point, like, they donated a bike, so that the kids could work on it, and they did a great job. They did an amazing job, and honestly, with them just giving me the bike, I was like, if that's all that Harley does for me, I'm cool. That's already a lot.
Yeah.
But no, they've continued to work with me.
It's good.
So we'll see what happens.
So a few weeks ago, you were in Milwaukee.
Yeah.
How was that experience?
Well, that was the first time I ever been to Milwaukee. A personal experience. I didn't want to step outside of the hotel because the sun's too bright.
Yeah.
No, but it was a great experience. Being with the corporation there, they treated me good. You know, if you guys think that Harley is not it's not making a change, they are. You know, they really are. I'm very proud to be a part of it, and for them to actually listen to what we have to say. And not only that, but they're educated about the culture. And there's a lot of conversations that I had that I'm like, wow, I didn't know you guys knew that.
They're doing big homework.
They're doing their homework, and I appreciate that.
So
They're very careful about what they say and what they do. They're not just this is the way to go. Very very careful. So I appreciate that. And yeah, homecoming at the concert, bro. Like they showed me a lot of love, and they were playing my commercial, the writing video on,
yeah,
on the big
the big screen.
all day, bro. I was like, you know, surrounded by a bunch of white people, and I'm the only Mexican there, just fucking staring at myself, but I'm like, that's me.
That was gonna be my next question. As being the only Hispanic out there, Mexicano,
Yeah,
being out there in a big corporation, because Harley Davidson is a big company we've been selling for several years. You know what I mean? And like you said, they pick and choose who to work with.
yeah, yeah,
You know what I mean? There's a lot of hint out there. Probably they might be saying certain things, but at the end of the day, you were there. You were in their office. They called you directly.
yeah.
You know what I mean? Now you being there as being who you are, Malo.
Yeah.
How did that make you feel? You know what I mean? Did you feel giving that credit to yourself? Like shit, finally paid off.
Honestly, it's just like whatever to me, man. Like I'm I don't even think it's hit me yet, to be honest. Like I just hey, well, all right, cool, let's go. It's like it is what it is, bro.
Yeah.
I think I'll put it to you this way: my parents barely found out about a lot of shit until recently.
Okay.
And it's not because I'm like, hey, mom, dad, like I'm sponsored by Harley, or there's a commercial with me.
Yeah.
Like, nah, they barely found out. My dad's like, how come you didn't tell me? Whatever, you know. But no, it's just it's I just it's always been about the community, man, and I think I'm just I don't know trying to do what I can to for the next person. You know, it's not about me. It's about the community.
I mean, it is about you because you're painting the role for the next person. I feel that keep saying same word as keep not fair to you, but so at the end of the day, the struggles that you've been through at the end, is slowly it's paying off.
Yeah.
For the charities that you have created, from helping the kids, the community, doing the Business Right Project, doing the Biclazos,
Mm.
overall keeping the cultura alive and showing to the youth and everybody else what it means.
Right.
You know, being a Zapatista, all of that, you know, just reminiscing our past and in our future, brother.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I feel that you should give credit to yourself because that is the being part of that corporation is a lot.
You know, I don't know, man. I just feel like there's a lot of work to be done, especially right now. Within the community and uh, everything has its ups and downs. I feel like the community's not where it should be right now.
Mm-hmm.
You I think it started off great, and I think like it's falling off a lot.
Okay.
And I would love for it to be in a different place.
What do you mean by that?
Uh, I just feel like when in the beginning, when the rider will go down,
Mm-hmm.
everybody was doing a fundraiser for the rider. Right? Do you see that now?
Not as much.
Like not as much, right? You know, there was the community was doing more community based stuff to help. Now
Yeah.
you don't see it.
No.
You yourself you be consistent, right? But like everybody else, what happened? They do it one time and then it's like be consistent. You know, um, keep that same energy, keep on helping. I see people are more about the likes and the views than to actually help out the community.
Yeah.
And make that those likes and views be about the fact that you're helping, not because you're pretty or not because you're getting on and off your bike on the fucking driveway. Making a video
Yeah.
like you know. I think everything has changed, and I can't get credit to it, that stuff changing, bro. Like honestly, because it's going fucking backwards, right? And I hate to say it, I don't know if I'm pissed off with some people, but like like we all need to get our shit together, man. Like these are hard times right now.
Sure.
Like this world is falling apart.
Evolution at its best.
This world is falling apart, and sometimes we gotta, our ancestors are already set the path for us.
Yeah.
They set that path. All we gotta do is follow it. Learn from their mistakes, learn from what they did. That's all we gotta do. Sometimes you gotta go backwards, go forward. And they have already laid down the blueprint. Now, what the fuck are we doing? Seriously, what
Yeah.
are we doing? Like, no disrespect to anybody, but yeah, I'm older, now, but if you're fucking 45 to 50 and you're just joining the motorcycle club, like, what the fuck are you thinking? I'm not trying to talk shit, but unless your life is, somewhere different or whatever, but we're forgetting about our families. Like I mentioned to you, like there's a lot of single parent homes now. We're losing those values for what? For fucking to be in the DMs with some girl, you know, to be pretending, be badass on a bike.
Yeah.
Like what the fuck? And I'm guilty of that, I'm guilty of it, but I've changed. I know which direction I'm going. I wasn't the best, partner, you know, but I've also, had to fucking, realize things, right? Like I can't tell it a group of kids don't do this and don't do that and follow my footsteps because my footsteps are fucked up. I can't do that. So I gotta fix myself, like we said, right?
Yeah.
To be able to help them,
Yeah.
and I think right now in time, like, man, fuck the lights, fuck the views, do what's right, you know, fuck, spend time with your family, spend time with your kids, um, don't make the same mistakes anymore. Like, like, I think it's a fucking pandemic. If you ask me.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people just base their life story because of Instagram or any type of media out there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's sad, but it's true. But
Yeah.
things are changing.
Yeah.
Things are changing drastically.
Well, I mean, but not everybody went through what you went through, when I went through,
Of course not.
right?
Yes,
but
sir.
now you want to pretend like you fucking went through it? Like, what the fuck? Like, I wish I didn't go through that.
Yeah.
You know, I do. And maybe that's why I wouldn't be so fucked up. I wouldn't have made so many bad choices. Terrible fucking choices that I made that I can't fucking talk about. Because, but it's like, why pretend to do that then?
Yeah.
Like, I know the ink is more popular and all that stuff. Like, I get it. But that comes with consequences.
Sir.
All that stuff comes with consequences, and things are a little bit different, man.
Yeah, it's changing. The world is changing.
How you gonna walk into a tattoo shop and fucking first tattoo is right fucking here? The fuck, it's weird.
How's Malo deals with disappointing? How do you deal with disappointing stuff?
Disappointing.
Yeah.
Man, honestly, my art. I'm trying to become a better artist. Um, this space here is where I concentrate.
Mhm.
Nobody, I work alone. Nobody comes in here. Unless they tell me they're coming. But I'm here. And I get to work. Nobody bothers me. And, like, I don't answer the phone. You know, everybody everybody gets mad because I don't answer the phone. But that's what it is. I just leave it there, and working, doing art, and this is like my haven.
Yeah.
It's where I concentrate.
Every bike that you do, it's always different because it's owned by a different person.
Yeah.
You give your input to the customer as, let me try this, let me try that.
Yeah.
Or you chop it out with the customer and say, hey, you read him first,
Yeah.
see who he is, his character, and you try to put that character into the bike.
100%. So yeah, getting to know when you're doing the Vigla, when somebody comes in here and tells me, I want a Vigla,
Yeah.
I'm like, all right, well, what are your thoughts? What do you like? Then we kind of get to talking, and I'm like, all right, find out a little bit more about them. I'm like, okay, or they'll be like, oh, you know what? I want, something just came to me. I'm like, all right, cool. So that's what makes the difference, right?
Mhm.
That bike is just personalized. It means something to them. And
Yeah.
like, for example, if somebody came to me and told me, just to say, I want Cantinflas on the motorcycle, right?
Mhm.
So, all right, cool. I get ready to do this bike, but I turn on my speaker, and either I'm watching a Cantinflas movie or I'm watching a documentary on Cantinflas. That's what I do. I want to be embedded into that bike. And that's why if somebody tells me I want revolutionary art,
Yeah.
cool. I'm playing videos about the revolution. Even if I've already heard it, it's okay to hear it again.
Yeah.
So, Aztec or whatever, mine, I'm playing the stuff in the background, and I get involved in it, and I think that's what makes the difference.
That's nice.
Yeah.
What has been any bike out there you'll be like, shit, you proud of it? Besides the bike that you said at the beginning.
Right now, all right. So, like, I just so that all you other shops know, I'm only giving you 50% right now. Yes, I've not seen my best yet. So, but if I have to talk about the bike that I'm proud of, there's two of them. One of them, I'm not gonna talk about the other one, but the one is La Reina.
Okay.
Belongs to Cynthia Martinez.
Mm-hmm.
She's from pulled down from Stylistics V-Class.
Okay.
And she has been, man, just killing it for 4 or 5 years straight. You know, just every lowrider show taking first place and just killing it from state to state. You know, she slowed down a little bit. She has cancer. But you know, she's in music videos. She's in everything, bro. And you know, one of the recent thing was like she was at the Peterson Automotive Museum at the lowrider exhibit
Mhm.
for you know her. This is the first time a Vikla was there at the Peterson Museum, but it belongs to a woman. You know, so that was big, bro. That was big.
That make you proud.
Hell yeah,
That's right.
yeah. It's right there. Yeah.
Yeah, it's ready.
Yeah, no, she deserves it, bro.
Yeah.
She's a good woman, but no, yeah, that was cool. Yeah, that was cool.
It's great, man. Yeah, that's great. Feel that overall, slowly your print when it comes into the motorcycle community and the big style, it's your name is out there.
Oh, definitely.
Your name is out there. Reminiscing all of this and chopping it up about your work and fucking all your struggles in life and all the good stuff. When you were going to the art school,
Yeah,
how old were you?
17.
17. What will you tell that kid, 16, 17-year-old? What would be the advice from who you are today as an individual, as a grown as man? What will you tell that kid? Let's say that kid will come to your shop.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And wanting to learn that, the art there and all that, did in a big lab. What would be your advice to that kid at that time?
My advice, I don't, I don't know if I'd necessarily, I'd give them advice, but just keep on believing in yourself, because I think I'm not ashamed of, well, maybe ashamed of a lot of stuff, but I think that my experiences led me to where I'm supposed to be at, and so and I just tell them just. I don't keep on pushing and believing in yourself. To be honest, like no real advice. You're doing good. Love it, and that's it.
That's right.
Yeah, I think that's it.
That's the one.
Keep on pushing. 15 years from now, hopefully there's a Chicano president, right? But no, but my end goal, I think, I would like if I really think about it, I think, even though like we talked about Harley, and stuff like that, and yeah, so I might do things here and there, right? But at the end of the day, it doesn't mean anything if if uh if we don't have one of our own working with corporate, right? So if there's a possibility that I could be there, um, doing what I do, helping my community, that's what I would like. If the opportunity presents itself, right? Um, and yeah, I'll definitely do that. If I could change, uh, our everybody's lives, and within this community, I would do it. I would bring up all this just to go there, you know. And but that would I mean that's what I would like, but the end, I mean, if that doesn't happen, it's just I don't know, man. Just continue, on building, some of the baddest fucking beef that's out there, and maybe one day, really give you guys 100%, so that you know, all the haters can fucking look at it like damn. No, but it's just the Vicla's transforming, and will continue to transform. And I got some crazy ideas that I still haven't done. You but I mean, I don't know, man. It's just, I guess, just fucking riding to the wheels fall off.
To to well thought.
Yeah.
That's right. What's your favorite bike?
If I have to be honest,
Yeah,
what's my favorite bike? A Dyna.
Dyna.
Yeah, and I
Yeah.
know All right, because I rode a Dyna for 8 years of my life,
Okay.
and and everyone was always like, "Hey, Malo, where's your bike?" And I'd be like, "Right there." And they're like, "The fuck, like a Dyna?" I'm like, "Yeah, Dyna's on my bike." And they'd be like, "But I would imagine you want. I know what you would imagine me, yeah, but at the end of the day, I'm an MO biker.
Mm-hmm.
I know these bikes are beautiful and all that, but being a biker, the Dyna to me was badass.
Yes, sir.
It's and I don't know if you guys have never ridden a Dyna. I don't know what to tell you, but that bike basically, like to me, I felt like I was one with that bike. I could do whatever I wanted with that bike. I could probably fall asleep on that bike, and I did a couple of times. Yeah. I'd wake up and I was there. But that bike was awesome. I miss it. I rode it till it gave out.
Yeah.
I remember how it gave out too. Like I was smoking, and I was with my pack, and then I was just because the bike kept on breaking down. I was so frustrated, and I'm like, "Just follow me," and they're like, "The fuck, where are we going? Where are we going?" He's fucking follow me, and then I get off the freeway to the dealer, and I'm like, "Fuck this bike, give me a bike," and they gave me a Road King, and I was like, "Fuck." All right, fuck, I gotta get this big ass bike. But no, Dyna for sure, like, yeah, call me crazy, but that's
That will be your favorite. What's the farthest run that you have done with Dyna?
that one time we got lost that we were talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it was on the tip of where is it, like the 4 states?
Okay.
I don't know,
4 points?
4 points.
Yeah.
Yeah, all the way up there on the Dyna. But it felt good though, man. Like I wasn't tired. Nothing. It was great.
Yeah, I don't think they give enough credit to a Dyna. You know what I mean? Like, everybody's different. Everybody picks their own poison, and yeah, Dyna's. I'm a Dyna lover as well.
And then it picks up like whenever you want it.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Just go in and out, you know.
Yeah. I mean, I love it, bro. And I could do anything with it. I don't know. Maybe one of these days I'll get another one.
Let's go. Let's go hit the road.
Yeah.
Any any advice you wanna give to the youth? Want to let them know?
To the youth?
Yes.
Oh, to the youth, I'd have to say, within reason, your parents are not always right, you know, um, but they want what's best for you, right? Um, they want what's best for you, and sometimes they think that they know what's best for you. But if you're an artist and you have dreams, parents, let your kids follow through, uh, and you'll be surprised, and you'll be surprised at what they can accomplish, and you know, and, and I don't know, just you know, believe in yourselves 100%,
I think that part, believing in yourself, definitely is the main thing. Because sometimes we doubt ourselves a lot, even when we're adults.
Yeah,
We're still like,
yeah,
can I? Should I?
yeah,
Just go for it, you know?
100%.
Just go for it. What are your thoughts when individuals out there trying to take advantage of the culture? You know what I mean?
Like, what do you like?
As they're not raza, yet they still want to take advantage of that when it comes into the big club world. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? There's a lot of gente out there. They're not raza. By all means, more respect to that
Yeah.
individuals. You know what I mean? So they see that there's a lot of money out there. There's a lot of followers.
Yeah.
So they want to take advantage of that without knowing the actual roots of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
What is your
So that's a tough question right there because I've gone through instances like that, right, where the younger me would be like, this isn't for you,
Mhm.
fuck are you doing, right? But now that you ask me now, what do I think if somebody else is doing it? If it's done with respect, uh, And like you said, not taking advantage of the culture. I agree with it because simple as this. I like we go back to it. Our own raza is taking advantage of our own culture, right? You can't sell me a T-shirt that says raza or Chicano or this and not contribute back to that community. You know, you can't be a fucking name brand and not give back. You know, in other words, so um, if you're an outsider to this community, and I think uh, a lot of different cultures, or like what we do,
Hmm.
and they might steal the ideas,
Hmm.
and go with it. Um, but I think that if you're one of those people, you know, I think those people in most cases are respectful, right? Now, if you're very disrespectful, then I think there's always a consequence to it, right? You got to learn how to move and ask questions, right? But I think when someone's like somebody else's culture,
Hmm.
it's with a respect, I like that, I want to learn about this, you know. How many people actually say that? Our own people.
Yeah,
Hey, I want to learn about this. I like that Vikla, but do you know the history behind it?
that part.
Right?
Hmm.
So, you know, the younger me would have been like, fuck this, fuck that, right? The me now? No, I think they're very different. And I'll tell you, it's because I'm building bikes for people in Europe,
Hmm.
right? I'm building bikes for people in different states, different countries. So my mentality in speaking to those people
Hmm.
has changed. So we look like what we look like, right?
Yeah,
Like, so I take it as a compliment, right? When it used to be disrespectful and everybody feared us the way we look and all this shit people have gone through, and these Europeans and everything want to emulate you know what we look like and respect it, bro. I,
yeah,
I take that at a whole different level now.
true.
Like you guys are showing us love, and I got to give it back.
Yeah, that's true. Regarding that matter, and the question that I asked is because um, I've been to your shows. I'm sorry, and where you bring to the shows that whoever hasn't been there, the big classes and all that. Um, it's about cultura.
Yeah.
There is no. Everyone will run their system however is convenient for them. That doesn't mean they're wrong or right. Is what they like and what the community likes. But at the end of the day, what I'm trying to say here is the shows that you bring out there to the community is about cultura, about the raza, showing where you came from, Dia de Muertos, you know, all of that good stuff. There's other companies out there that they show nalgas, you know, they put the females out there, in a different category
Yeah.
type of situation. You know what I mean? But your shows are different. I want to be straightforward at the end of the day because I'm a man, I still a man, you know what I mean? But at the end of the day, I was born from a woman. I have a daughter. And I feel that if we are gonna put our shows and our big class out there representing our cultura, we should do it right. What are your thoughts on that part?
100%. So yeah, my shows. I'm basically bringing you guys to an atmosphere that you guys have never had before because
Hmm.
we weren't raised that way other than in your home. We weren't taught this in school. You didn't see all the surroundings before. So in that aspect of it, I'm bringing you into a place where we're all one. You know, and we put aside our differences, right? I remember one time, a reporter from the LA Times,
Hmm.
was there, and I never tell people who's gonna be there, right? But like he's like Malo, I saw different biker gangs. I'm like, yeah, I saw gangsters, yeah, and a bunch of other people. Like, how do they get along? And I'm like, well, that's a perception of you that you think that we can't get along. You know, I'm like in an environment like this when we're celebrating our culture, we're gonna get along.
Of course.
You know, when you walk into a Vicalazos, the atmosphere is different. You know, we learn how to respect each other because we can.
Yeah.
You know, and respect is what we're about, right? So, uh, you know, if you know, it's like a Mayan phrase, right? If I harm you, I harm myself, right? If I do bad to you, I'm doing bad to myself.
Correct.
And that's what Viclasos is, you know. At the end of the day, that's what it is, right? You come into a place in an environment where we're following those old traditions, right? And whether you know it or not, when you're there, that's what we're doing, you know. Uh, but your ancestors are there,
Mm-hmm.
you know. They're celebrating with us. Um, and you're right, you know. Women, different shows, you know. I just don't do that, you know. I'm trying to I'm not trying to change the culture, but you know, if you guys like what I do, then you know, I'm happy. You know, it's a production. It's not a
Mm-hmm.
show. It costs a lot of money to
Yeah.
do what I do. You know, and it benefits the community. You know, that's what's more important. You know,
Yeah, definitely. We're the only what would be the word? We embrace Dia de los Muertos.
right,
We don't run from it.
right,
You know what I mean?
yeah,
And a lot of cultures out there, they don't, when they come to your show, they see that.
yeah,
You know what I mean? We have ofrendas, you know, we respect the dead.
yeah,
And that sometimes the new generation or second generation or third American generation that is it's born here do not have those experiences.
right,
You know what I mean? Because this is more Americanized.
yeah,
But at the end of the day, you still bring in a little bit of that into your shows.
yeah.
You know what I mean? And
So
generations see that.
yeah, the muertos, you know, it's kind of become a trend thing now too, right? There's people that do it all year long now, right? But it's definitely been, you know, I know it's become a corporate thing where it's, you know, and that's okay, you know, it's celebrated around the world now, right?
Hmm.
But it's at least it's out there, you know, and the world is learning about our culture, right? That is, it's, you know, it's not a costume, right? It's a culture.
All right, Milo. So when is what's your next event coming up?
Well, I don't know when this is gonna air though, but it's not Ofrenda October 4th, right?
Okay.
Um, at the Malo Museum of Art, you know,
Okay. Where's that at?
Long Beach. You
Okay.
know, I have it at the Latin American Museum of Art because you know, it contributes back to. It's expensive to close down a museum, but it contributes, you know, to Chicano art, and they have a student program that they run, right? So you know, that's why I do it there. You know, and it's a place with a good aura. You know,
Okay.
like when you go in there, it's a good atmosphere. I like it. You know,
Yeah, I've been there before.
yeah,
It's a
yeah.
nice setup. How about the one that you do at the beginning of the year on Legion Park?
So yeah, we do a New Year at Elysian Park. This will be what 3 4 years
More or
now.
less, yeah.
Um, yeah, no, it was just an idea in the beginning. I talked to a bunch of different people. You know, they agreed, and we just started doing it. It wasn't easy because you know, in the beginning the lowriders were there,
Yeah.
but you know, I took that responsibility and kicked them out. No, no, but you know, lowriders come now,
Yeah.
and everything's cool. But you know, you just it's you know the you know, they see a bunch of bikers, so you know that day I'm actually up and down all day, making sure
Everybody's
that
good.
everybody's good, you know, everybody's getting along. Because of course people are, you know, celebrating the new year, so people are drinking and stuff like that. But for the most part, man, we've never had a problem. You know, if you know, everybody's cool. Everybody, if I tell them move the bikes within the lines, they move it. You know, the cops pass by all day and don't shut us down. So you know, God willing, you know, we continue doing it every year. and I think it's a great turnout.
Yes, sir.
You
Oh,
know,
it's definitely a great.
and, and the whole purpose of it is for all of us to start the new year together,
Yeah.
right? Forget about the past, forget about the bullshit. Let's start together as a community, and and then you guys fuck everything up. No,
Yeah.
no, but if we all come together as one and start the new year together, and that's the whole point, right?
Yeah.
To start it as a community,
Hell yeah.
and then from there, whatever you guys do, but that's on you.
That's on you, right?
Yeah,
Don't get me involved.
yeah. Yeah.
um, if anyone out there, any of the viewers, wants to get at you and want to get a bike down from you, how can they reach they reach out and well with a proper way to reach out to you?
Man, if you want to get that's a good question. Uh, so be honest, I normally don't take bikes like from people I don't know.
Okay.
It's kind of like a referral.
Okay.
Like if it's somebody that knows somebody, then I'll be like, all right, cool. Not that I'm trying to not do the bikes. I just I like to work with people that really want to get this bike done, like that it means something, right? Um, and not just like, oh, I just want this bike and that's it. Like for example, if somebody buys a brand new bike,
Mm-hmm.
a new rider, and comes into my shop and says, hey, I want a 21-inch rim and I want some apes and this and that, and I want air ride, and I'm like, how long have you been riding for?
Yeah.
Well, I just bought it. I'm learning. Yeah, this is the wrong shop to come to because I care about you.
Yeah.
You know, go somewhere else because they'll do that for you, not here. You know, so that's the way I am. At least I take this. This is my life.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd hate to put somebody on the road that is just learning.
That don't
You
have
know,
enough experience.
exactly. I don't do that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Uh, so that's why it's a fine line. But if you do want to reach me, I mean, you could go through, Junior's Customs on Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I'll read your message, maybe I won't, but I like to build a bond,
A relationship
a
with that
relationship,
individual.
yeah,
Yeah.
and then go from there.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm just not that kind of shop, man.
I understand.
So,
And I just wanted to ask you that so in case if any of the viewers um, wanted to know that part. At least they know what time it is.
yeah,
In case if on the future they do want to get a big love from you, they know where to start. You know what I mean? Um, but you never know. And then overall,
I need a Vita. I don't know.
yeah, I'll probably get a
We
big
need to
love
slow
later.
down, man.
Yeah, some other hobbies. Hobbies expensive. You know what I mean? But we known each other for several years. You know what I mean? You sell it, gente. At the end of the day, um, we chopped it up. When the serious conversations. At the end of the day, good people.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah. Well, we have known each other for a long time, and
Yes, sir.
and and thank you for being there for me for many times. Where I was fucking up.
Nah, we both have.
This guy got me out of a lot of stuff, and it's been
Nah.
there for me. But like, I think we had one of the conversations we had because we both lost a mutual friend, right?
Yes, sir.
We lost a mutual friend, and to I hate to say this, but it was suicide.
Yes, sir.
And one of the conversations me and Ivan had was that we never know how our friends are doing because we never really asked, right? We never check on each other, right? Um, and I think more or less, me and Ivan have done that, just out of the blue. Like, how you doing? Doing good, and that matters, even though we don't talk every day, or we don't hang out like that, you know, just check in on your homies,
That's that part.
check in on your homies and make sure that everything's going good, right?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, that definitely hit home and put us on a different. Made me think a lot more deeply. I feel that would be a different topic and different conversation. And we don't talk enough about mental health, like you said. You know
Yeah,
what I mean? But checking in on your family, your friends, anyone out there that you care. Just overall, just hey, how you doing, bro? That's it. It will definitely go a long ways. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, thank you, Malo, for having us in your shop. Thank you for opening the doors, not just to La Vida podcast, to the viewers out there, telling your story, some of your story. So I know you got more stories out there, you know what I mean? But overall, shining the light to your business and what do you do as a living, and from the point of starting point to where you are today, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Creating the big class, creating the history of big classes and all of the above, started from zero to fucking, working with a big corporation that is Harley Davidson.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Saying, you know what I mean? So thank you for sharing that to the viewers. Anything that you want to add up before we wrap it up?
Yeah, just like we say, check in on your homies, and not just like not like, hey, what's up, and not like, really check in.
Yes, sir.
Really check in, and take care of your kids. Take care of your
That
kids.
part,
Yeah, be
that
there for
part.
your kids. Yeah.
So with that being said, always remember that people will respect you as much as you respect yourself, Keep your head up, and Malo, always a pleasure.
Okay.
Thanks, brother.
Thank you, bro.